whoa, it happened fast. It happened so much faster than anybody thought. Anybody could have predicted. Kyrie Irving. Kyrie Irving, the Dallas Maverick. Wow. We are trying to figure out what just happened. The timeline of it is insane. Kyrie demands a trade Friday, February 3rd. By Sunday afternoon, he's in Dallas in one of the most shocking trades in recent memory. In those 72 hours, so much happened. Let's break that down. From the moment that the news broke that he was asking out, presumably because the Nets wouldn't give him any money, which why would you? He's been unavailable. Speculation goes wild. Teams are rumored to be in the Kyrie mix. We're the usual suspects, of course. Purple and gold, the Lakers, the Clippers, the Suns. I don't know if the Heat were really involved, but they were sort of mentioned. And then the dark horses like the Mavericks and the Pelicans. Turns out only 4 teams actually made offers. The Lakers were the presumed frontrunners. Obviously, Braun and Kyrie have talked about reuniting. They've made no bones about wanting to play again together. The Lakers apparently offered Russell Westbrook. More on this later. Austin Reeves, Max Christie, and 2 first-rounders. I think the first-rounder element is a little bit muddled. It could be 1, it could be 2. The 27, 27, 29. Solid. The Clippers apparently offered Terrence Mann, Luke Kennard, a first and 2 first-round pick swaps. Kind of meh if you're the Nets. I like Terrence Mann fine. Luke Kennard is trash. He's horrible. So that trade made no sense. The Suns, this is where it gets really interesting. They offered Chris Paul, Jay Crowder, and some first-round picks. Pretty intriguing, except for the fact that Chris Paul has fallen off of a cliff Paul, right? Intriguing. And then Joe said, was like, nah, I'm good. So he fast-tracked the trade to Dallas that was finalized as follows. Kyrie and Markieff Morris for Spencer Dinwiddie, which is like a wish version of Kyrie Irving, who already played for the Nets, Dorian Finney-Smith, one of the best perimeter on-ball defenders in the league, and 2 second-round picks. I think a first-round pick, too, and a first-round pick. Fascinating thing, according to those who are connected with the story. Kyrie was never going to get a long-term contract from the Mavs. An anonymous source reports no one in Dallas will come out and say it in those terms, but Irving is potentially just a rental. Lord. Folks, I have thoughts. I have a lot of thoughts on that. First of all, super excited to see this fit. People are saying, oh, Kyrie, Luka, they're not going to be able to play together. Those people don't listen to them. They don't know basketball. It's fine. They're just watching Sports Center and listening to takes and then regurgitating takes. Kyrie playing off ball is excellent. He is elite at that. Kyrie, probably the theoretical player that's always in play. But one thing you never question is his work ethic and his ability to ball out in crucial moments. He's a top 10 offensive player in the league. He's a top 75 player in all of history. And he will play really well with Luka if he continues to come off ball like he did with LeBron James in the time that he was in Cleveland. This does bring up a ton of questions. Like, is Kyrie going to be the Dinwiddie 2.0? Is he going to hit sort of those game-tying, game-winning shots? Is that still going to go to Luka? This could be very fun to watch to me. He's not a selfish player. He's a player who can get guys involved. He can play make. He can do a lot of things. The Cavs won a championship with Kyrie Irving coming off ball. So he's built in the lab for playoff time. That's what he is. He is winning time in human form. My second point. Does anybody feel like it's weird that Mark Cuban makes this move? They know that Luka probably is going to ask out if they don't do something. This is sort of a roll of the dice move, right? Like kind of like what they did with Russ and with Pelinka. You have to sort of appease the player that you know needs to be appeased, possibly putting yourself in a worse situation down the road, right? That's really, really tough. Which brings me to my third point, because I think this is a rental. I think 100% this is a rental. I do not believe that Kyrie is in a Mavs uniform next year whatsoever. Dinwiddie and Dorian Finney-Smith is a very steep price to pay for a rental for 30 games, right? Like that, he is. I firmly believe that Kyrie will be a Laker next year. I think this was, in terms of the Lakers, probably the most savvy things that Kyrie has done in a long time. So he asked for a trade out in the summer, right? And they were like, nah, we're good. We're not going to do that. No. You have no trade value. Nobody wants you whatsoever. That's just not going to happen, right? No. You did the vaccination thing. You're got Harden to ask out. But zero controversy for 30 games, and his stepmom, who's his agent, saying to him, that's all you have to do. And you can ask out and get whatever you want, which is exactly what happened. He balled out. He, as that young woman said, who asked Russ that question, which I'm going to use forever now, which is he uses his impressive dribbling skills to successfully fake out his opponents multiple times. The truth is, Kyrie did that. He's good at basketball. He can hit clutch shots, and he's not stirring anything up ever since the whole thing that he stirred up. You can now use that as leverage, knowing that there's teams that are going to be very desperate to make a move, because this is a very muddled West, a team where a West where it's very mediocre. Anybody can get in and anybody can make a run. And if you're the Mavs, you know that Kyrie is an upgrade over Spencer Dinwiddie. Like, this is not petulance. This is not Kyrie throwing a fit. This is him saying, I know what I need to do in order to get out of this organization. The clock is ticking. He forces the Nets' hand. He does it down the stretch where they have no time to really pivot and figure things out. And all of a sudden, he's gone. Fourth, the Nets did get theoretically a little bit better. They did get not as much as probably they could have gotten for him if he was Donovan Mitchell, like scandal-free. Kyrie's not scandal-free, though. That's where we're at. He's not DeJounte Murray. He's not Donovan. He's not Rudy Gobert, but he's a better player than that. Theoretically, he should be worth more than the 4 first-round picks it took to get them, right? But his stock had fallen so low after everything that he's done. He was virtually untradeable at one point in time, right? But the bottom line is this. The Nets traded Kyrie, a star, for 2 good players. Good players. Spencer's a good player. He's played for the Nets before, right? He's a diet Kyrie. He has handles. He can shoot. He was one of the most clutch players in the playoffs last year. We saw that when they went to the Western Conference Finals. He hit some big, big threes down the stretch. Dorian Finney-Smith, probably one of the best defensive wings. So you've got KD, you've got Dorian Finney-Smith, and you've got Nick Claxton. Those 3 guys are going to be able to defend. You're going to have probably the best front court defensively of any team in the NBA, and they get a first rounder and 2 second rounders out of it. So you kind of made lemonade out of lemons. Very solid deal for the Nets, considering that Kyrie has been a disaster. I think also the Nets need to make another deal. They need to figure it out. Maybe you figure out a way to get OG Anunoby. Maybe you find a way to get Pascal Siakam. That's kind of what the new tea leaves say. You'll probably have to give up Nick Claxton for that, but I still don't hate it. And also to show KD you're not tearing it down to the studs. There's a possibility he gets moved and wants to be moved if you don't show him that he is going to be on a team that's going to win, right? This is now, and the fact really is Shams reported Kyrie asking for a trade now makes it so that so many more teams are asking about Kevin Durant than they were about Kyrie. They want to know, hey, is he on the move? Like, can we get him for nothing? Can we get him for just a couple of maybe 3 first-round picks and Dyson Daniels? Who knows? More on that later. By the way, Kyrie left for 3 games and Cam Thomas exploded. So this is going to be really fun to watch Cam Thomas. He's crazy. He's had more than 40 points 3 straight games now. Insane. Do went on for 44 against the Wizards, 47 against the Clippers, and had 43 last night. So dude's going to be a star. First player in NBA history to have 3 40-point games at his age. Nuts. And then Ben Simmons not getting talked about enough. He's been trash. He's maybe the most untradeable player in the league right now. As for Dallas, they are rolling the dice. Jason Kidd thinks that they can fix Kyrie. Kyrie, his mentor, his idol is Jason Kidd. Obviously, he has a relationship with the front office executive, Nico Harrison, who came from a Nike, where Kyrie had his signature shoe. So they had a long-standing relationship since Kyrie got into the league. And that's what they said. Jason Kidd said, hey, we have a relationship. He's all about basketball. He wants to win. He wants to be coached. And this is a great opportunity for me. And Kyrie has great things to say about Luka. He loves Luka. And before this trade was even possible, this is what he said about him.
I think first we got to discuss just how long he's been playing professional basketball. I think it's been since like 14, 15 years old. So he's used to seeing so many defenses, so many different roles that he's played. I'm sure, overseas. And now that he's in the NBA, I mean, you just see him. He plays at an incredible pace. He makes great decisions. Most of the offense goes through him. And he takes his time a lot, and he gets to the free throw line. So he maximizes on all the rules of the game of basketball and uses it to his advantage, and all the rest of the guys around him play their role really well. So they're a good team, and they're only getting better. And, again, I'm glad we got to see a team like this that, down the line, the continuity that they have in the trust, because they've been through certain battles, you can see it, and they don't panic. That's just good to see, traits of a great team. So.
Yeah, I mean, this is going to be very interesting. So now that Kyrie is a Maverick for probably 25 games, and if he doesn't sign with them in the offseason, which I don't think he will, that's a hefty price to pay for a rental unit. But if it keeps Luka happy and that's what Cuban wants, who knows? And also for the Lakers, why would you do that deal if you thought Kyrie would be there anyway for you in free agency? Why? You wouldn't. Why would you pay all those first-round picks and your young players if you think you're going to get Kyrie anyway?